Postgame right now with Head Coach DeWayne Saulsberry as the LCCC men's basketball team, and a huge win at home in terms of just the standings. Forget momentum and all that stuff, but Coach guarantees you the home game in the opening round. Don't have to get out on the road. What does that mean?
I believe we're guaranteed a home game. Looking at the standings from what I was looking at, it means a lot. It means that you get to stay at home, you can sleep in your own bed, your practice times are the same. You don't have to worry about a lot of that stuff. You don't have to worry about weather. You don't have to worry about a lot of stuff. So we're very, very happy to be able to lock that down and move forward.
Talk a little bit about the start to this one. You end up going on a 17-4, 9-0 run to start, and then a 17-4 run really would encapsulate off on. And it got started with steals. You guys were aggressive in the lane. So what was the vibe in the early part of this one?
We've been working in practice all week long. A long week, but we have been working in practice on, really, really switching hard, switching heavy, and those guys did that, and it got us off to a great start.
When you talk about it, kind of came in waves. It was Ejay at the start, then you kind of saw Phoenix really kind of take care of things in the middle of it. DB kind of came in on strong. When you start seeing kind of the baton being handed off to people too, and not just. It's one thing to have anybody on any given night can show up, but it's a different thing, I'm sure, when anybody in any moment can step up.
That's what's made this team special all year is that we got a lot of guys that can score. We don't have to depend on one guy. If you can remember last year, if Zay wasn't going, then we were struggling. I don't really worry about it now. I don't know. Like I asked you after the game, I don't even know who scored, who was our leading scorer. So it's really, really nice when me and Coach, we can sit back and say, okay, next man up, and these guys have done that this year. DB finished that game off for us. As a freshman, those freshmen are really, 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 really stepping up for us.
We'll wrap it up with two more for you, Coach. Rebounding was something that you guys didn't necessarily control as much, but you made up for that in forcing turnovers. Is that a give and take you're willing to give?
Yeah, the rebounding, we're a small team. And because we switch 1 through 5, we're gonna get some bad defensive, some bad rebounding matchups at times. That's stuff all year long we just had to live with, and we've been able to figure it out.
Another guy, and we've mentioned his name a lot at the back half of this season, but another guy that made a difference in that second half, Abdullah Muhammad. Not even on the offensive side tonight.
He's been big.
They were able to get to the hoop a lot. That gave them the lead, and then he comes back in and shuts them down.
He's been big all year. I got to hand it to Abdullah. I really, really give him a lot of grief. I stay on him. If there's anybody on this team that I ride more, it's probably Abdullah. So for him, and he never gets upset. He just kind of smiles at me and probably cusses me under his breath, but he smiles at me and just says, "Okay, Coach." And tonight he did a great job of rebounding. I think he had maybe 4 or 5 rebounds in a row there at the end, and it was big. It was big.
Wrap it up with one more big game tomorrow against Casper. Chance for you guys to kind of close things out. A lot of momentum on your side, but what would it mean to get that one?
It just means that you're keeping the momentum going into the tournament. Anytime you play Casper, or Laramie County plays Casper, it's always a good game. It's always a close game. So I'm expecting a dogfight.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. Sitting down with our players of the game as Ejay Scroggins and Davion Butler. Taking a good game for both you guys tonight. And I talked to Coach, kind of came in waves tonight for the team when it came to the offensive side of things. Ejay, you started off kind of with the hot hand. I think you had 12 of the first 17 points or 10 of the first 17 points. DB, you came along late in the game, helped kind of ice it away. What does that balance for this year's team really mean for you guys when anybody at any point in time during the game can step up like that?
I'm in shoes. It takes a lot of pressure off everybody, knowing that we have a lot of scorers on our team and that anybody's night, it could be anybody's night, any night. So it definitely takes a lot of pressure off everybody's shoulders.
I feel like that gives everybody opportunity to just score more and get open shots. And whoever's hot, if you just don't got opportunity to shoot the ball, you can pass the ball out for an open teammate.
We're talking a little bit with Coach too about the smaller lineup, and while that does end up giving up some advantages to the other teams inside, what's the mindset you guys have when you go to that smaller one where Pedro's playing that 5?
Just be aggressive, take a lot of charges, and team rebound. Definitely when we go small ball, we want to push the pace a little more and get downhill, space the floor out, especially for this guy who wants to get downhill and post up a lot. And he's been great all second semester, making them reads out of the post. So definitely playing fast pace and getting our shooters open with that small ball lineup.
That kind of follows into DB. You kind of read my mind on that one as far as Ejay. You start out hot, and then you kind of became the distributor after that for kind of those 20 minutes in the middle. Where do you kind of see yourself as far as that kind of role player on the team that can kind of do whatever's needed?
I just feel like at this point, we all know that teams just finna collapse every time I got the ball in the paint. So it's just good for me to find my teammates and just make sure they get the ball to shoot.
Talking about your teammates, you talk about Abdullah kind of being the ISO guy there on the end. He was huge at the end of this game. How much do you appreciate the work he puts in, being kind of the only big man you guys got?
I definitely appreciate Abdullah, even though we be on his head all the time. That he tired of us being on his head. But at the end of the day, he definitely worked hard, and we definitely need him at the end of the day.
Last question for both you guys, and that's you head into tomorrow's game with Casper, and not a ton of pressure. This one kind of took a lot of the pressure off because it gives you the tiebreakers with Western and with Northwest. But how do you keep that motivation going into Casper? Is it hard to keep that motivation going into Casper, or is it kind of still one that you get up for?
No. Considering we took a loss to them when we went there, we got vengeance in our mind for tomorrow. Got that get back tomorrow. So.
Guys, thanks so much for the time. Congrats on the big win, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, sir.